Hello, welcome everyone. My name is Leela Rhodes and I'll be your moderator today. Thank you so much for joining us here at NetCom Learning, a market leader in promoting lifelong learning, training, and talent development solutions. We are very excited to host today's event, Understanding the Fundamentals of Architecting on AWS. Presenting today's topic is Brian Wu. Brian has over 22 years of consulting experience in the information technology industry. With his rich training experience with the IT industry, covering a wide range of skills and knowledge from data center and network infrastructure to more recently cloud architecture and implementation, he has been training up the enterprises in all industry level verticals to help their adoption of cloud technology. Now, please bear in mind that this is still just an overview of a very robust topic. We do offer a collection of technical and business courses that can be tailored toward your specific requirements. If you're interested in a further discussion about any of those, you can make an appointment with our learning consultants through our website at www.netcomlearning.com. NetCom Learning helps customers build innovative learning organizations by achieving a smarter workforce, adopting change, and driving growth. We do this with a broad catalog of offerings, developing a customized learning plan, and our global delivery capabilities. Since 1998, we have been empowering organizations with our managed learning services to help them reach optimal performance results and address challenges. We have 9 practice areas in which we specialize, and they encompass people, process, and technology training. Today's presentation is from the cloud practice area. NetCom Learning offers a comprehensive training portfolio for cloud courses, and our upcoming classes include various training on architecting on AWS, advanced architecting on AWS, AWS Technical Essentials, AWS Cloud Practitioner, and more. And private training to teams is also available, and those learning plans can be customized to the specific needs of that audience. You can also access a variety of cloud marketing assets, such as the free 1-hour trainings, free on-demand trainings, and blogs by clicking on the available webinar handout. And these offerings can also be found with a simple search on our website at www.netcomlearning.com. In this event, you will explore the best practices and design patterns for architecting optimal IT solutions on the AWS Cloud. Moreover, you will also get an opportunity to build and explore a variety of infrastructures through guided discussions and hands-on activities and more. And now I'm going to go ahead and pass the time over to Brian to present today's topic. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. All right, let's get started. So first of all, let's take a look on the agenda for today's 2 hours webinar. So first of all, we will take a look on understanding the well architecting framework on AWS. And then next, we will take a look on the fundamentals on what is global infrastructure on AWS. And we will take a look on one key service, the S3 Simple Storage Service, and I will do some demo to you. And later on, we will take a look on how should we choose the region from AWS. And finally, I will show you some demo. And if you've got AWS account, you can try it together with me, how to build a very simple web page by using just S3. Okay, so let's take a look on the first topic. Yeah, this one is understanding the well architecting framework on AWS. In AWS, if you take a look on the official document, they have many pillars. Before they have 5 pillars, and let's take a look on some updated. So a well architecting framework should include, say for example, security. Security is always the top priority, and then reliability. Suppose something fail, the architecture, the system, application should come back automatically without human intervention. And then next is about cost. Running your project application in the cloud should be much cheaper comparing with running in your on-prem data center. I think at least 50% cheaper. I mean, including everything, because by running the application in your on-prem data center, you need to have the hardware, the rental, cabling, license. But by using AWS, of course, we need to pay AWS. However, there is a lot of saving Okay, and then performance and operation. Let's take a look on the first one. A well-architecting framework should include security, and security, is the most important. Uh, I deliver some training to many listed company, and some of them in the security training, they are actually C-level, CTO, CIO, even general manager, CISO, something like that. And many of them are evaluating, should we go to the cloud, and which cloud should we go to? And they concern about the security, because if they feel not very safe, then they may not move to cloud, and we don't need to talk about anything else. So security is the first priority. And luckily, actually all the cast, all the C-level, all the people, no matter they are in risk management team, in security team, audit, internal audit, external audit, they're all happy with cloud. So by actually, this is a very big topic. We have a 3-day training just talking about security. Say, for example, identity, authentication, authorization. We should not use the root user. We should use the dedicated user. In AWS, we call it IAM user, to grant list privilege right. So no matter what the dedicated user do, we should be able to chase them. Okay, suppose yesterday, last week, last year, somebody did something wrong. Okay, we should be able to trace it. And then for security, it is all level. It includes networking. How can we hide our important machine in a private network? And then also encryption, access control. So network traffic, the firewall, your operating system. How can we harden the security for those? So it's actually all the layer. Okay, if some layer we didn't do very good, or something happened, we still have other layer to protect our critical information. All right, and then risk management. We always think about the threat. Okay, something bad may happen anytime. Maybe we are being hacked. Maybe some abnormal behavior. Okay, abnormal traffic, abnormal usage, abnormal region. All right, so there are many tools from AWS to help you to meet those compliance. All right, so security always a top priority. And then reliability, another very important pillar, is anything can fail. All right, a server, a virtual machine can fail, a hardware wreck, a data center, or even a region may goes down. Nobody can predict when will we have earthquake, tsunami, or no matter problem in electricity facility, something like that. So the most important is we plan for it. Suppose we really have some fail, we might have another availability zone and come up and running, or maybe another region as well. So we need to plan for that. I know in many companies, after they move to the cloud, they have some position is called recovery engineer. All right, so we plan, anything can fail. Okay, so how can we come back quickly, minimize the data loss, minimize the downtime? So a well architecture, we should include this consideration. And then for cost, we manage efficiency and try to eliminate unneeded expenses. The key word is unneeded. All right. Some expenses we need to pay for that. Say, for example, highly available. All right. The duplicate of your storage, we might need that. However, it is sometimes very hard to find out which one is unneeded. And from my past experience, I see a lot of company project, they over spend on AWS. Okay, maybe just storage much bigger than they need with they provision the storage, or yeah, they let the machine up and running all the time. Even at nighttime, we don't need that much resources. And data transfer as well. We need to understand how the cloud charge you, all right, in order to uh, do the cost optimization. And then try to use managed service. We will talk about what is a managed service and what is unmanaged service. By using managed service, yeah, likely we can reduce the human effort all right? And then also the availability, scalability, patching, all handled by AWS. And especially we use the serverless service. They are, yeah, pay as you grow. And if you don't need it, then maybe there will be no cost on those hours, all right? So try to use those managed service. And later on, we give you some more example. And operational, think about your application, your infrastructure. You might keep improving your application, right? So there are new release, new features. We want to push those new features or fix the bug immediately, okay, as we discover those bug or issue. So how can we push the customer? Let's use Amazon as an example. 15 years, 10 years before, they release new features every 3 months, all right, because a big giant server run everything. But now, as you go to their website, they announce that almost every 1 or 2 seconds they have new features to the world, all right? And take a look on your mobile application. Every day you got update. How can they do it nightly? By using cloud, by you automate everything, and then infrastructure as code, so that we can push those update to your customer, your staff, your user much faster, right? And then performance. For performance, sometimes it's not really something fail. Maybe you're doing your business very well. You have more and more customer go to your website. Can we handle the extra loading anytime? Make our database, application, front end, back end, everything ready. So we need to consider the performance. And once again, better without human intervention. All right. So if you want to take a look further, you can go to the AWS official webpage, AWS Well Architect. Of course, it is recommended you join our architecting training. We discuss much more details. However, in the official webpage, you can see, yeah, security pillar, reliability, and then operational. And we have a new member, and you can see that there is sustainability. It's related to how can we, in the foreseeable future, ongoing run your application and then try to minimize the effect to your environment. All right. So is environmental protection together. We consider this as well. So these are some white paper. So a good architecture, a well architecture should consider all this. All right. So this is the first general concept. And then take a look on the AWS global infrastructure. All right. So this is very fundamental. In our technical essentials, architecting, advanced architect, or other trainings, we build from this basic understanding. So what is AWS global infrastructure? If once again you go to search AWS global infrastructure, and then you can take a look. There are some terms we hopefully understand. Yeah, region. What is a region? And then we have availability zone, and then we have also edge location. Another word we say is point of presence or global service. Okay, global location. So if you go down, you can see a map. But however, if you search AWS global infrastructure, and then take a look on the image, and you can see some better map. Okay, originally in AWS, they provide this map, and it's interactive. And I think a little bit more than 1 year ago, they removed this map because they provide too much information. All right, maybe related to security. Okay, it shows how they connect to region, and then yeah, where is the region? Where is the availability zone? Okay, so AWS think maybe we give out too much information. So that's why nowadays they remove this map. But this map is very good for us to understand, to learn the global infrastructure. You can see the orange color. All right, the orange color is actually a region, and each region we contain availability zones. Okay, maybe one region we contain 3, 4, 5, 6 availability zone, and availability zone contain data centers. Okay, so region consists of availability zone, and availability zone consists of data center. And as you can see, there are lines between those regions. It means the AWS have dedicated link connect together. Okay, the fiber link, so they have a very fast network connect all together. And if you see, there are many dots. Say for example, in United States, in Texas, in many other area, you can see the point. All right, normally is paint color. This is edge location. Nowadays they got more than 400 edge location. So what is those infrastructure? Let me draw a diagram for you to understand. Suppose, let me get back my pen. Suppose you want to use AWS. Okay, I want to create a machine. I want to create a database, or upload some storage, and many other service. Nowadays, we have more than 200 big service and 10,000 smaller features. All right. So first of all, we need to create the AWS account. When you create the AWS account, you need to provide some information. Say for example, the email address and the password. And the email address is actually your root user. Okay. Normally, we don't recommend to use the root user because too powerful. We create some dedicated user. All right. The service is called IAM, Identity and Access Management. And then you also need to provide your credit card. At the end of the month, AWS will charge you in your credit card. After you create the AWS account, as you can see, there are many regions. Okay, I just say R. So let me draw it. So some service, they are actually inside a region. Nowadays, we got 26 regions. Say, for example, in United States, we have Ohio, we have the Virginia, and then also Oregon. Okay, but some other place like Europe, we have London, Frankfurt. In Asia Pacific, Tokyo, Singapore, Sydney. All right, so these are region. In a region, AWS have a very large deployment. Okay, at least nowadays, I think 3 availability zone. So we have some terms called availability zone. So let me just draw it here. We have something called availability zone. We call it ASET from now on, availability zone. So normally a region consists at least 3 ASET nowadays. And the availability zone actually could be 50, 80, 100 kilometers away. All right, normally less than 100. All right, and use fiber link connect together. And one availability zone may contains multiple data center. Okay, it might have 2, 3, 4, 5 data center, and each data center AWS provide install maybe thousands, tens of thousands of machine to provide a service. All right, so we mentioned we have 26 region, and outside the region, we have something called edge location. Okay, nowadays we got more than 400. All right, or some people they call it global. All right, you can interchange those names, global buying service in the edge location. So if I give you some example, let me use the short form. The root 53. Okay, it's a service, is a DNS service, domain name service provided by AWS. Another example is Cloud Fund. Another example is we talk about IAM. So this service, they are not really inside the region. All right, they are global buying. All right, in the edge location. Okay, across the region, the service. So let me show you in my demo. Okay, it will be easier for you to understand. So this is my AWS account. I already logged in. And then if you go to service or you go to the home page, this is the home page, all right? And when you click service, we have more than 200 service. Say, for example, I want to use database. There are many choice in database. Suppose you want to work with machine learning. There are many service in machine learning, all right? So in each area, they got compute, many service, okay? So we just mentioned root 53. So you can search root 53. And then, I'm still waiting. Let me just click the shortcut. So after you go to root 53, and then you can see here on my right top corner, I don't need to select the region. All right, the region is theme. I cannot click anything. All right, so it means root 53 is not located inside a single region. Okay, root 53 is actually yeah, you grab a domain name, a valid internet domain name. In my example, I have the domain name brianwudemo.com for me to do the demo. All right. So this is a valid internet domain name. It's not belong to a single region. All right. So this is global buying. Another example I showed you is CloudFund. Okay. Suppose you go to CloudFund. CloudFund is content delivery network. All right, help us to distribute our data, especially static data, to the world. The competitor is you may heard about Akamai, Horizon, something like that. So once again, this is global by service. All right. So another example when we talk about is DynamoDB. This is not global by service. This is another example or about the region below service. So when I go to DynamoDB, I need to select a region. All right. So suppose I select Virginia. The data is physically bit by bit stored in Virginia. All right. So this is regional by service. Okay. The 26 region. Okay. You can select. Actually, you can only select 22 because two region for government cow, U.S. government cow, for federated and then state government. Say for example, also for NASA, and two other region in China, we cannot use that. Okay, so actually you can only select 22 region. So come back to my drawing. As I showed you, some surface they are actually global wide, and some other surface they are located in region. The example I show you is DynamoDB. All right, another service is S3. Okay, later on I'm going to discuss a lot more in S3 in our webinar. All right, so they are region bound, and there are some service that are actually located in a single availability zone. Okay, so the example is I'm going to use is EC2. All right, EC2 is actually virtual machine from AWS. Okay, so what if I create a single web server in AWS? You need to select the asset. Let me show you. That would be easier for you to understand. So let me go to EC2 now. And then it looks like EC2 is region bound. You need to select the region. But if you take a look in more detail, you launch an instance and you can select Windows, Linux, and some other third-party appliance. Let's say Linux. I'm not really creating a machine. I just want to show you that area. Okay, there are so many different sizing of the machine. And then what I want to show you is here. Okay, in Virginia, we have actually 6 availability zone, a very big deployment from AWS. Okay, so you actually need to select a single availability zone. So the point is EC2 is ASAP bind. Okay, so let's come back to here. Suppose you create a web server by using EC2. This is ASAP bind. And then let's see what now I'm going to talk about in AWS, we have some service. They are unmanaged, okay? And then they have some service. They have AWS managed. All right. I want you to understand this term as well in order to have a well architecting framework. All right. When you build the diagram, we select in the right surface. So first of all, here for EC2 is actually unmanaged. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, what is the meaning of manage? Let's say, suppose this machine goes down. Okay, and what will AWS do? And the answer is AWS will do nothing. All right, your machine still goes down. Your application, your infrastructure, your maybe database, okay, goes down. All right, because EC2 is unmanaged. EC2 is Elastic Compute Cloud, is just virtual machine. So because EC2 is unmanaged, what is the meaning of manage? Manage means the availability, scalability, and also maintenance, like patching, handled by AWS. Okay, if those are unmanaged, it means those availability, scalability should be handled by customer. All right. So if you got just one single machine in a single asset and it goes down, okay, maybe the machine goes down, maybe the availability soon goes down. All right. You still lose your application or even your data. Okay. Okay. So what we can do is we create multiple availability zone. Okay, deployment. We call it multi-asset deployment. All right. By doing that, if the machine goes down, the asset goes down, you still have something running kilometers away. All right. So this is multi-AC deployment. And of course, multi-asset deployment is more expensive. All right, because you run two machines, and the traffic between the asset, we also need to pay for that. Okay, 2 cents per kit. Okay, for the traffic. Take a look on the pricing. But you have higher availability. All right, so a good architecture we should consider is this. If this is just development, maybe I just want a single asset. Okay, a single machine. Okay, if this is production, yeah, reliability may be more important. All right, so sometimes we need to select trade-off between yeah, cost, reliability, and performance as well. All right, so and why do we call it availability zone? Because if you have multiple asset deployment and the zone goes down, your application, your info, your database could still be up and running. All right, even if the zone goes down. Okay, that's why we call it availability zone. All right, so let's take a look on some other scenario. Suppose now I have multi-asset deployment, and then I have some customer, all right, want to visit my website, whatever application, all right. So I want to distribute the loading across the availability zone. I don't want everybody go to a single server and the other one is idle, right? So how can I do it? If you are a network guy, you may heard about some load balancer like F5, like Citrix NetScaler, all right? So you can actually create the F5 in AWS. This is actually virtual appliance, all right? So help us to distribute the loading. However, by doing that, this is load balancing on EC2 using virtual machine to load balance. This is unmanaged, or another better word, custom manage. All right. So the better way to increase the availabilities is you create another F5, your HA, your active, do it in your F5 way. All right. So in that case, you not only need to pay AWS, but also you need to pay in F5. And you also need to pay an F5 engine to configure those load balancing and availability. All right, you can do this, but by using cloud, maybe this is not a very good choice for many company. All right, so let me show you how to do it. If you want to do it, yeah, in F5 way, NetScaler, Cisco, Palo Alto, Fortinet, uh, just external. When you launch the instance, you can really find many third party from AWS Marketplace. Let's say I search F5, and then I'm not an F5 guy, so I don't know what's that. But actually, you can select. I just want to show you the price you pay to AWS. You just pay to AWS. However, it includes the software. All right. Actually, it goes to eventually F5. All right. You can select really a lot of third-party provider. Okay. Another example, you may search Cisco. All right. Cisco in marketplace. All right. So yeah, this is another way to do so. All right. So this is unmanaged way to do so. What is a better way to many customer? By using cloud, I want to yeah, let AWS do the heavy lifting. All right. So what can we do? Yeah, let me just change to another scenario. In AWS, what we can do is use the managed service. All right. So yeah, this is ELB. By using elastic load balancer, normally when we draw the diagram, we draw in the middle. All right. it means across AZ. Okay, but under the cover, they are still EC2. Okay, at least two across availability zone. If those EC2 goes down, AWS will create another one. If you got more and more traffic, they will scale out. Okay, and you cannot really touch those machines. You cannot see those machines. All right, you cannot SSH remote desktop to those machines. So the maintenance, like patching, maintenance, everything handled by AWS. All right, you just create the ELB by a few clicks. All right, and then you can have the traffic distributed across availability zone. All right, AWS handle the availability scalability. And then some other example I want to show you is database. Suppose you need database and you need relational database. All right, what you can do is you can use EC2. All right, you can create a DB on EC2. Okay, use Windows, Linux, install MySQL, Microsoft SQL, Oracle. You can do that. All right, but this is unmanaged. You also need to handle the availability, scalability, and everything else. Okay, update. However, if you use the AWS managed service called RDS, relational database, okay, so you can just create a single RDS instance. Okay, we call it as RDS instance. And after you answer a few questions, it takes 5 minutes, 7 minutes, depends on the engine. Yeah, after they create, they have the endpoint. All right, just like the connection string, but is the endpoint. You talk to the database. Yeah, you have no access to the underlying OS. That's why AWS handle the patching maintenance. And then the most important is you can use the database. Okay, you can use the SQL statement, create, alter, drop, insert, update, delete, select where from. The most important is you can work with your data. All right, and they have built-in availability, so the data will be back up to S3 automatically. Okay, you don't need to do anything, but by default is 7 day at most. Even if you extend only 35 days. All right. What if I want to restore the data 3 months before? All right. Then you need to take manual snapshot. All right. So that the backup can keep longer. All right. And suppose, yeah, this machine goes down, you have the copy from backup, you can restore the backup. All right. However, if the database is too large, let's say 10 terabyte, it might take hours or even days for the backup to restore back to your environment. So what you can do is you can pay a little bit, pay a double, I should say. Okay, so that you can create a primary. Okay, primary you can read and write, and then what you can do, you create a secondary. Okay, so by creating the secondary at the beginning or later on, it really doesn't matter. So you will have the data synced to the secondary. All right, so the secondary is just standby. If this machine goes down or the whole availability zone goes down, AWS will switch the endpoint to the standby. All right, so you don't need to do anything. You don't need to change any code or any connection in your application. They will just automatically go to the standby. And then the standby will become the new master, and then the read write will be here. And this is not the end of the story. At the end, they will create another standby for you. Okay, the original primary, they will just throw it away because it may have problem. And then the data sync back to the standby. All right. So here is really fundamental. And then a fundamental to a good architecture. All right. We have some service global buying. We have some service region buying. We have some service ASAP buying. We have some unmanaged service, likely EC2, but a lot of people really use EC2 because they originally use KVM, Hyper-V, VMware, or other virtualization in their on-prem environment. When they move to AWS, they use those same architecture to run your environment. All right. So by using RDS is a managed way to run your database. Okay, this is really important. And for managed service, we have something called serverless as well. Okay, serverless means you have no server to manage to provision. All right, ELB and RDS, they are not really serverless. They are just AWS managed. When you create the ELB and then the RDS, you might need to wait a few minutes, all right, until those machines up and running. You just don't have the access to the underlying OS, all right. But for serverless, normally there will not be any server for you to manage. Normally, the provision time for those resources it's just second. Okay, S3 is one of the example of serverless, and the other like DynamoDB, Lambda, API Gateway, SKNS, SQS, and a lot more. Okay, in our architecting training, we will discuss much more. So this is really important to understand to have a good architecture. So let's take a look on some slide, and then we take a look on the service related to S3. Okay, so in AWS we have data center, but as a customer, we cannot see this word data center. All right, you can select availability zone, but you cannot select data center. Okay, it's transparent to you. All right, an availability zone may contain multiple data center. All right, and those data center, they are not cold. All right, all the data center is active. All right, and then AWS have a lot of customized equipment. All right, from they build themselves, work with Intel, work with many other company. Okay, many customized hardware, and of course, only restricted people could be able to. Not every AWS staff can go to the data center, and then as a customer, we cannot go to the data center as well. All right, so it's very locked down. All right, so and then availability zone, as I mentioned, consists one or more data center. It really depends on the region. Some availability zone, they contain maybe 5, 6 data center as well, and those availability zone, they are isolated. Okay, nowadays, every region I think should have at least 3 availability zone. All right, and then those availability zone connect together using high speed private link. If you're a network guy, I can tell you, you can actually test yourself. Just create a machine in a single ASAT, and then create another machine in another ASAT. Actually, if you ping each other, I tried in many regions already. Normally, it's less than 2 milliseconds. Okay, the latency. Okay, and then if you ping inside a single availability zone, just 0.3 to 0.5 millisecond latency. All right, you can try it by yourself. All right, so in a region you can consider they are just local LAN. All right, most company, more than 98% of the customer, they will just think inside a single region, even across availability zone, is just a local LAN. All right, so region consists of 2 or more. Nowadays, I think 3 or more availability zone. Okay, to avoid the zone failure. All right, because the tsunami, earthquake, fire could happen. All right, so even a single availability zone, they may go down. And AWS, it's mentioned, a region may go down as well. All right, so what you can do is plan for it. Okay, if your application is really critical to your customer, do we need multi-region deployment? Of course, definitely much more expensive. All right, however, but your consideration is cost more important or much higher availability more important. So this is your consideration. Okay, do we need to plan for that? Definitely yes. All right, so we have 26 region nowadays, and then they are all connect together. All right, you can take a look on the most updated map, and AWS is keep building those region. All right, and the edge location nowadays we got more than 400. All right, so that even if in the middle of US we don't have region, but we can serve those customer well. All right, by using the content delivery network. All right, so this is to serve the customer around the globe.
We take a quick moment to pass the time over to Tripti, our product marketing associate, who's going to introduce our promotions and event-related courses. I'm going to make you the presenter real quick, Tripti. Are you with us?
Yes, Leela. Thank you. Thanks so much, Leela. And thank you everyone for joining today's session. Thank you, Brian, our instructor, for delivering such a wonderful session. So let me just take you all over our recommended courses, promotions. So what's next after this session will be beneficial for you all. So this is basically the slide I'm using. You can find this on your handout section of the GoToWebinar. There you can find all the slides what I'm showing to you. Also the link to the same is available there as well. Also, I would like to tell everyone that this session is being recorded, and after 24 hours, the recording will be available on our website. Also, you can go through our handouts. You will be able to find the link over here, and it will be working after 24 hours. So these are some recommended courses. So as this session is basically an overview, and if you would like to learn more about the architect, so I would suggest the AWS Technical Essential is the fundamental course you can start with, and these are some more courses which are recommended here. You can just go through this, and the schedule for the month of July is also available, and more schedules are available on our website. So next we have the AWS Discovery Day. So basically AWS Discovery Day is a 2-hour session. From the month of July, we will be starting our first session. And these are some topics which we have: machine learning, migration, security, data strategy, and cloud practitioner. So these are the 5 Discovery Day that we have till December, starting from July. Basically, these sessions will going to give you an overview about all these areas. So if you would like to learn about machine learning or any other areas which is here, so do register for our upcoming Discovery Days. Also, I would like to mention one more thing over here. If you are will going to register for machine learning, data strategy, or cloud practitioner, any of these 3 sessions, so you will be eligible for our latest promotion, discount promotion we are having, and where you will going to have 50% discount on our 3 course, which are AWS Security, AWS Technical Essentials, and Cloud Practitioner Essential. Only if you register for these 3 sessions. So you will be eligible for that discount promotion as well. So I would highly recommend everyone to register for these sessions in order to take a benefit of the discount promotion that we are having. Next, we have the AWS e-learning courses. So we have around 250 plus AWS e-learning courses. So these courses, basically, you will going to get a fundamental knowledge of AWS Cloud by the solution areas. So if you are just starting with the AWS and would like to learn what all solution areas are there, what all fundamental you would like to learn the fundamental knowledge, so you can enroll for our AWS e-learning, which are basically free. So these are just short videos which will going to give you an introduction about each areas. Next, we have the customized private group training for you. So this is basically if you have a team or a group of people who are interested in private group training or group training for their team, and this is the customized private group training which we provide. This is basically a 2-hour session, a free 2-hour session, which is only for the group of 10 people. This training can be customized according to your need. If you require to look for the particular AWS product or solution areas, so we can customize this training according to your need. So if you want to run this a private group session where you want to have a demo what kind of training we provide, what how our instructors are providing training, so we can arrange a 2-hour session for you and your team. So do let us know. Next, we have the AWS LNA, which is AWS Learning Need Analysis. So a lack of skill talent is one of the most common obstacles to the adaptation of the cloud service. So to identify and address these skill gaps, we have a solution, and which is a complimentary LME with a free assessment survey that identifies AWS skill gaps and recommends organization and individual training plan to address those gaps. So there is simple, we have this has three simple steps. So if your team has a skill gap, so we will be going to run an LME. So we will going to run a free assessment there, which will take around 5 minutes. So once the assessment is done by each and every member of your team, so we will going to share a heat report, which will going to tell what all skill gaps are there, and according to that report, we will going to prepare a training plan for you and your team. So do let us know if you would like to schedule this LMA assessment with your team. So just email us at aws@netcomlearning.com. Next program which we have is the which is the NetCom Plus. It's a subscription plan. So if you are looking for an unlimited benefit with a learning experience, then NetCom Plus subscription is the one you can look into. So this is for the 12 months, and AWS, Microsoft, Cisco, CompTIA, and many other vendor courses are there available. And you will going to get an access to 350 plus training classes, and our subscription starts at 2,999 per person for the year, and additional discount is also available for the enterprise. Next, we have the learning passport. So if you have a budget allocate training for your team, then learning passport is the right option, I would suggest you. So here you will be experiencing unlimited training experience, which will going to include Microsoft, AWS, and other vendors. And this is for the flexible fund valid for the 12 months. Also, we have 4,000 plus official courses available under this program. So do let us know if you would like to appoint a learning consultant who can give you more detail what plans, what training you should be going through. And that's all from my end. And if you also would like to have a call with our learning consultant, which who are available 24/7 to answer your questions, so just email us at aws@netcomlearning.com. So yeah, that's all from my end. And Lida, thank you so much for giving me the time. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you. Yeah, we will go ahead and we will jump right into our question answer session. It looks like we are getting close on time, so we will just get to whatever we can. And they wanted to know if there would be an offline link to this video again. And yes, there is. There will be. It's sent the next 24 hours via email, if I remember correctly, right, Tripti?
Yes, Leela.
Okay.
We will also going to share an email where you will be going to have a recording link for them.
Okay. They're asking, are some of the upcoming live courses, like the July 11th course, already available online from previous sessions? There are some courses that have been previously aired. So you'll just have to go to the website and kind of look through what has already been done. Some of them are up, some of them are not. So you should be able to navigate through there pretty easily. And I think Tripti showed you guys where you can look at the other courses and everything. Our next question, how can we back up the data in S3?
In AWS, a lot of service, when you back up, like you back up the EC2, actually is the EBS, the RDS, and then DynamoDB, a lot more other database. When you back up, they actually go to S3. And the question here is about how can we back up S3 itself? 2 years before AWS will mention versioning, just like what I demoed to you. enable versioning, and then you can get back the earlier version. But think about it, if you have thousands, millions of files, it's really not manageable. And now AWS, we have a relatively new service called AWS Backup. AWS Backup is a centralized tool to back up other service. And now we add S3 as well. So that if you use AWS Backup to back up S3, you can just like restore S3 back to a certain point of time. Okay, so the answer to this question is by using AWS Backup this service. All right, I hope I can answer your question.
Thank you. Okay, let me just check on our time. Yeah, we've got enough time for a couple more. Will AWS do all the security job for us when we are using their cloud services?
All right, so one very important concept related to security is share responsibility model. It means AWS will not do all the security job, but it's share responsibility. It means customer still need to do a lot of things, but AWS handle all the let's say infrastructure, hardware, data center virtualization, like this, and then customer still, if you are using EC2, yeah, the EC2, the Windows Linux configuration, your firewall, your networking, your access control, your data backend protection, you still have a lot of job to do. But one key takeaway is that by using AWS, you offload a lot of responsibility to AWS. So your security job should be easier. And if you use more managed service like RDS, you don't need to configure the Windows Linux update. And then if you use those managed service, especially those serverless service, many of them, they are not in VPC. Okay, so you don't need to configure the virtual network. It means you use more managed service, serverless service. You even offload more responsibility to AWS. But definitely, you still have some security job responsibility to do. All right, I hope it can answer your question.
Thank you. And it looks like we've got one more question in our queue before we do wrap up today. AWS has had some outages last year. Should we still consider using their cloud services?
Okay, so no people can control predict the natural disaster. Maybe because of earthquake, typhoon, tsunami, or just some failure. All right. So we still, of course, can use, but the most important is we plan for it. All right. Normally, multi AC should be good enough, but if really a region outage, then and if your application is very important, okay, then you may consider multi-region availability. We can definitely do that, but the cost will be higher. So it depends on the importance of your application. Okay, so that's my answer.
Wonderful, thank you. And with that being said, we are through all of our questions through our presentation, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up. In addition to today's webinar, we have a lot of informative webinars and events that are coming up, so please go to www.netcomlearning.com/webinars/ to register for any of those. We want to thank you all for joining us today. If you do come up with any additional questions, please feel free to send them to us at webinar@netcomlearning.com at any time. And we hope that you all found today's webinar to be informative, and we look forward to seeing you back here with us very soon. Also, feel free to tell your friends and colleagues about our events, webinars, and other courses. Once again, thank you everyone, and have a wonderful day.